What's going on, everybody? What's going on? Good morning. Good morning indeed. If you are an LA Rams fan or have a piece or the defense, it's been a good morning for you so far. Happy Sunday, everybody. Hope everyone is doing well. Welcome to week 7. Hopefully, you did not go against Jamar Chase this week because not to be the bearer of bad news, but our odds of winning if we're going up against Jamar Chase this week, it took a hit. It took a hit. That's all I can say. So, again, happy Sunday, everybody. Welcome to week 7. Let's get to some start and sit questions. I'm going to be live for about the next hour or so, answering questions before kickoff. There's a lot of injury updates that are still coming out today. We got obviously Rams, Jaguars going on in London right now. 5 minutes left in the third quarter there. We got weather updates, I should say, now that we are officially in October. I mean, we've been in October, but like this officially feels like fall now. So now we have like weather becomes a thing. So again, it's week 7 and we're here to answer all of that for the next hour or so before the 12 o'clock slate of games start. So Wally on YouTube, Zach Ertz or Kate Otten this week. I'm going to go Zach Ertz, no Debo, no Terry. They're going to spread the ball around in Washington. Like, it's not like it's going to be a Zach Ertz game, but I like Ertz. Otten will have Mike Evans playing. You can see why I would lean Zach Ertz there. Dogs, Rico Dowdle, Roma Dunze. This is a Roma Dunze one. Pretty easy one for me. It's not that I don't think Rico is a bad player or anything, but when you have the luxury of playing a Roma Dunze, you can sit Rico Dowdle just to see what the backfield will look like now with Chuba Hubbard. It's weird to me that they've kept things as quiet as they have. It's a running back. It's not like it's a quarterback. Like in certain leagues, deeper leagues, like if you're staring down like Rico Dowdle and like Travion, you're still going to go Rico. But again, you have Roma Dunze. You can play Roma Dunze. Trey on YouTube, Jackson Dart or Danny Dimes. This is a Danny Dimes one for me. Denver's defense has shut down mobile quarterbacks. They have not allowed a rusher over, what was the stat? Was it over 30 yards this year? Maybe even less than that. Like they shut down rushing quarterbacks, and that's what you've been banking on with Jackson Dart. Danny Dimes in a high-scoring game against the Chargers. I will take that. More times than not. Trevor, my guy, flex Evans, ETN, or Kamara. Well, I hope you didn't flex ETN because he's playing right now, and it has not been good for him. He has been shut down pretty much all game. That is also just because the Jaguars are, they got behind quick. So it is between Evans and Kamara. I'm going to say Evans. Evans is, like, when I say the most likely to play, I mean that in the sense that like there is little to no doubt that Mike Evans is playing this week. So I'm going to go Evans there. Matt over on Twitter. Hey, guys, we fixed it. We got Elon to get Twitter comments on the lives. Let's go. Matt on the X, Lab McConkey or Mike Evans in PPR. This week, I lean Mike Evans still. I'm worried that Lab McConkey, yes, we got the yards after the catch and downfield, all that stuff, but that was without Quentin Johnson. Now Quentin Johnson back in the lineup. What does that look like? I have no problem if you're too concerned about the injury for Mike Evans in his first game back and you think, well, high-scoring game, Chargers, Colts, maybe I'll take the chance. Totally. And it is a very weak secondary in Indy. A lot of injuries. Charvarius Ward was just placed on IR. So I understand going Lab. My preference is Mike Evans, but I will not blame you for going Lab McConkey if that's the route that you go. Ryan on YouTube, QJ or Kendrick Bourne. I'm going to go with QJ on this one. This is just a high-scoring game bet on my part. I know Kendrick has been good. George Kittle is back. And this Atlanta defense is not the same defense. I know he plays out of the slot more, so maybe there's there's something to be had here, but I'm not taking a chance this week with San Francisco, or at least with Kendrick Bourne, right? You can, maybe that's not the right thing to say. I think Kendrick Bourne is still a startable piece, right? You can play Kendrick Bourne in your flex, and I totally get it. I just don't think the ceiling is the same as we've seen the past 2 weeks. And when you have a Quentin Johnson, I would roll with Johnson in what should be the higher scoring of the 2 games. So Nate on YouTube, Wandale or Luke McCaffrey? Scared about Wandale's matchup. Wandale against Denver, yes. Now, thankfully, he's more so slot based, so it's not like he's going to have the pass or tan problem. But the problem with Luke McCaffrey is he does not get on the field. He's still playing just like under 40% of snaps. Like he's not getting on the field a ton. So really, what it comes down to for Luke McCaffrey is like, can he get the one play? I'll be honest. Hold on a second. Excuse me. Ooh, allergies. I don't think we get the play. If we do, fine. But I don't think you're missing out on a whole lot then at that point. So I would still go Wandale on it if I were in this situation. NFL fan, Trey Tucker or Kyle Pitts? I would go Trey Tucker. No Jacoby Myers this week. I know, and against Tennessee, if there's a game for Vegas, or no, that Tennessee was last week. Vegas, it's Kansas City. That's what I meant. They're gonna have to throw the ball. Trey Tucker, like, I'm gonna go Trey Tucker. You can understand why. Henry, I made the mistake of starting DK. Pick 2: Ladd, Rome, Tet, Jamo, Wandale, Robinson. Well, we're gonna definitely go Rome here. He did score. He just got called back with a penalty last week, so it wasn't like he's completely phased out or anything. And just game situation wasn't the greatest for throwing the ball or anything like that. So I'm still going Rome. And then the last player, it comes down to Tet and Ladd McConkey for me. Jamo, yes, has the ceiling that you probably want, right? Because you started DK, but the problem is that like the chances that we get to that ceiling are not the same as years past. And Tampa is still pretty, they're doing all right in the secondary. So it's between Tet and Ladd McConkey for me. Tet going against the Jets, I'm scared by. Not that I don't think Tet can stay involved or anything. He's just going to have Sauce Gardner shadowing him the whole game. So that's going to be a fun matchup to watch. Problem is, I don't know if I really want to watch it because it's the Jets and it's the Panthers. So kind of by process of elimination, I think the two that you're going to have to start, or that you should start, is Ladd McConkey and Roman Dunze. Ryan, I have Bill Krosky Merritt on my bench, but I'm starting Achane, Javonte, and Judkins. Do I bench anyone or I would just keep Bill on your bench. Those 3 running backs this week. Javonte in what is going to be the highest scoring game of the week with Dallas and Washington. You keep him in your lineup. Achane, yes, not the greatest matchup against Cleveland, but you need to keep him in because it's Devon Achane. Quinton Judkins on the other sideline going against Miami, you play. So that's a good problem to have, is to have 4 really solid pieces that you could start. But I think Bill's kind of the odd one out in that equation. Danny on Facebook, Ladd McConkey, Rico Dowdle in the flex. I'm going to go Ladd in the flex. I think Ladd is another piece that you can still play ahead of Rico just to see what the backfield is like. I think it's really as simple as that. That's really the only explanation I can give. Kamani Vidal, AJ Brown, or Sutton from Dami over on YouTube. Not AJ Brown for sure. This is definitely between Kamani Vidal and Cortland Sutton. I like the fact that Cortland Sutton doesn't have the corner matchup, doesn't have the lockdown secondary matchup against the Giants. I guess maybe if it's PPR, I might go Sutton, and even if it's half PPR, I might go Vidal. But I really, really like Sutton this week against the Giants. So I might just go Sutton straight up. I would order it then probably Cortland Sutton, Kamani Vidal, and AJ Brown. Savage on YouTube, Rico Dowdle, Javonte Williams, or Mike Evans in the flex. This is a Javonte Williams one for me. I know last week, again, wasn't what it used to be, but it was against a Carolina defense that has been playing a lot better against the run lately. He should bounce back in a high-scoring game. Daniel on Facebook, Harold Fannin or Kendrick Bourne. This is a very fascinating one because normally I don't recommend going 2 tight ends in your lineups, right? 1 in tight end, 1 in the flex. I might just take the chance, man, with Harold Fannin this week with no David Njoku. I know the weather is going to be something to watch for. So here's update number 1 for you guys on the weather here in Cleveland. There's a wind advisory in effect in Cleveland until around 11 Central, so a noon Eastern time, which is in about 3 minutes. The worst of it will be gone by kickoff, but we're still looking at winds around 20 miles per hour with gusts of 30 to 35 miles per hour. There's also likely to be rain during the game. So I'm not expecting a ton of downfield shots. If there's a guy on Cleveland that should be getting, that should be getting targets and finding some catches here in this game, I think it's Harold Fannin. So I'm going to go Harold Fannin on this one. I'm going to take the chance on him. Dogs on YouTube, Rico Dowdle or Kamani Vidal. I have this exact same dilemma in one of my leagues, in a half PPR league, and I'm going Kamani Vidal. I'm expecting him to be kind of the guy in this Chargers backfield. And again, it feels weird saying to not play Rico after the streak that he's been on, because again, that's hard to beat. But Kamani is in a high scoring game without a Chuba Hubbard problem. I'm personally starting Kamani Vidal. Eric on YouTube, Wan'Dale Robinson or Trey Tucker in the flex. Between the two of them, I'm going to go Trey Tucker. Daniel, thanks, brother. Of course, anytime. MK Oso on YouTube, Alvin Kamara, Kendrick Bourne, Mike Evans, DJ Moore, or Jacoby Myers pick 2. Jacoby Myers is out, so we're automatically going to remove him from the equation. So it is between Kamara, Bourne, Evans, and DJ Moore. Mike Evans is for sure going to be 1. So now we're looking at Kamara, Bourne, and DJ Moore. And between the two of them, between the 3 of them, I should say, I'm going to go Kendrick Bourne. Yes, Kamara got the passes last week, and that was good to see, but the rushing production hasn't really caught up with it. And obviously, we have not needed, when it comes to Alvin Kamara, we don't need, super great rushing production. But the problem is the touchdowns. If we're not going to get the touchdowns, the receiving work is just really, it just kind of cancels out at that point. So I'm going to go Kendrick Bourne on the chance that, hey, if there is somebody to get yards, and, the George Kittle factor is kind of neutralized because you have a Jesse Bates and you have a Divine Diablo to take away the tight end in that offense. So I'm going to go Kendrick Bourne and Mike Evans on this one. Adam on Facebook, Jake Ferguson, George Kittle. That's a great problem to have. I'm going to go George, Jake Ferguson. Yes, CD is back. High scoring game. That's ultimately what what's going to make the difference for me. Danny again on Facebook, Devonta Smith or Luke McCaffrey. I feel like you still have to play Devonta. Yes, Minnesota's secondary has been really good this year, but it's kind of what I was saying about Luke McCaffrey earlier. I just don't think we're going to get you need a play. I have so many ideas, so many thoughts, so many words just hit my head at once. You need one play. I don't like taking those chances, right? And he has done it in the past. He literally did it last week. I just don't like taking the chances. And I know that Devonta is at least going to be on the field. So I feel like the right thing to do is to stay with Devonta Smith, who again is a name, right? Name value alone goes with Devonta Smith. Steve on Facebook, George Kittle, Travis Kelce. That's the George Kittle one for me. Michael on Facebook. Oh, sorry about your Jaguars. Hate to see it. Nick Chubb or Mason Taylor in the flex. Let's go Mason Taylor. Why not? Let's go Mason Taylor. Let's have some fun. Let's have some fun this week. No, in all seriousness, no. Seattle, I feel like this game for Houston, at least the running backs. Let me say this. this might be more of a Woody Marks game than a Nick Chubb game. That's just my preference, especially coming off of a bye. That's my gut feeling on it. Dami again on YouTube. Kamani Vidal, Cam Scadaboo, and Cortland Sutton in full PPR. This is a Cortland Sutton one for me in full PPR. I don't know if the Giants prove me wrong, then they prove me wrong, right? I just don't think we're gonna get a repeat of what we saw against Philly. And Vidal is also a really nice option, but Cortland Sutton, and again, what I was saying, in defenses that do give points to receivers, Cortland Sutton takes advantage. I'm expecting that to happen today. So Nolan on YouTube, Chuba Hubbard or Rico. Between the two, I'm going Rico Dowdle. If you have both, I'm going Rico Dowdle. Hudson on YouTube, Kyle Pitts or Zach Ertz. I'm probably going to go Zach Ertz on that one. It's close. I'm not going to complain if you end up going Kyle Pitts. I just think Zach Ertz at least has an opportunity in a high scoring game to make some noise. And no Debo and Terry, obviously. Ryan on YouTube, Michael Pittman or Wandale. Also maybe Matthew Golden, just because I have Emeka Egbuka hurt. That stinks that Emeka plays on Monday. There's a real chance that he plays. But between the three of these guys, I'm going to go Michael Pittman. No Josh Downs. Not saying that he's exactly going to take all of that work then, if what would have been Josh Downs' work. Again, I just think Indy and Chargers is also going to be a relatively high scoring game, and that there's going to be some work for Michael Pittman to be had here because of that. I don't hate the Matthew Golden shout. We're not seeing volume yet, and we're relying on big plays, and they've worked. It's just a risky play. So I would honestly go Michael Pittman here over Emeka, just because on the, we still have the thought that like he does play, but he's limited, all that kind of stuff. You have a Michael Pittman. I wouldn't take the chance. It would be a different story though if you're like staring down. It would be a different story if you're staring down like a Wandale, or you're staring down gosh, I'm trying to think of some names. Jordan Addison, Jameson Williams. You get what I'm saying? That's where I'm going. Michael on YouTube, Jordan Addison, Wandale, Devonta, Marvin Harrison Jr. start 2. I'm going to go Marvin Harrison Jr. And I'm also going to go, I'm going to go Wandale. Honestly, I have Wandale just slightly ahead of Devonta in my rankings this week. And it's just because I think, again, with Wandale, yes, it's Denver, not the greatest matchup, but Devonta also doesn't have a great matchup. You can see where I'm heading with that one. Brian, thank you. Good luck today. You, sir, as well. Jonah on YouTube, pick 2 between Quentin Johnson, Harold Fannin, and Dallas Goedert. We're going to go Quentin Johnson. Oh, man. Dallas Goedert is an enigma, honestly. Because I think if there's a guy that the Eagles can be able to get going in the passing game today, it is Dallas Goedert. Just because like coverage for linebackers and safeties, Minnesota. I'm not taking the chance with Goddard this week. I think you go Quentin Johnson and you go Harold Fannin. MKO, so again on YouTube, Theo Johnson or Rhonda Gadsden. I'm going to go Rhonda Gadsden. Theo, I literally have them back to back. I'm just going to take the chance on this higher scoring game. And Theo definitely has the more difficult matchup with Denver. So Carrie on YouTube, right? Rico Dowdle at running back, start 1, Matthew Golden, DJ Moore, Dallas Goedert, Jalen Coker, Tony Pollard or J.K. Dobbins. We're going J.K. Dobbins on that one. Kovis, Romeo Dobbs, Marvin Harrison, or Jerry Jeudy. We're going to go with Marvin Harrison on that one. Raider on YouTube, should I trade Jordan Addison for Marvin Harrison Jr.? I don't hate it. I feel like that's a pretty lateral move, or it's not a super big upgrade. But I think I like the rest of the year for Marv better just because he doesn't have a Justin Jefferson. Yes, it's Trey McBride, but if you sat me down and said you can only have one for the rest of the year between Jordan Addison and Marvin Harrison Jr., I would take Marvin Harrison Jr. Jonah on YouTube, Ramondre or Isaiah Pacheco. New England going to Tennessee. Gosh, I'm probably going to go Ramondre. I like the fact that Isaiah Pacheco was getting short yardage and goal line carries last week. That is big time. I want to see it one more week. So I think Ramondre against Tennessee and what is the Mike Vrabel revenge game, for whatever reason, that's not being talked about enough, that Mike Vrabel's going back to Tennessee. Ramondre could find the end zone in that one. Jose on the X, Jordan Mason, Alvin Kamara, Kamani Vidal, Rico Dowdle, pick 2, please. Between the two, I'm going with Kamani Vidal for sure. So then between Kamara, Mason, and Dowdle. I know that it's not Alvin Kamara. So now we're choosing the last one between Rico Dowdle and Jordan Mason. And I'm taking a look at my rankings, and I'm not sure if I completely agree with them the way that I have it. Between Rico and Jordan Mason, I feel like Philly's defense is a bit like you can exploit it just a little bit. And I really do like, I called Jordan Mason a running back start of the week for me. I'm going to go Rico Dowdle. I think, let's have some fun. Ryan on YouTube, bro, I have Chuba, Bill, Achane, Judkins, Javonte, Chase Brown, and Vidal on my team. I want to trade one, but no one wants to. What trade ideas do you think I should do? Why does no one want to trade for any of the running backs? I mean, if you're trying to move on, if you're trying to move like Chase Brown, or you're trying to move Chuba, I feel like you got to move one of the big four. And honestly, the guy that I'm probably going to cut ties with is Bill. Vibes are high. But if you want the most return possible, I might trade Quinshon Judkins, just because out of the 4 offenses there, Miami, Cleveland, Dallas, and Washington, I would expect Cleveland's offense to be I would expect Cleveland's offense to be the most inconsistent. So that's what I would do. But it's weird to me that no one wants one of those running backs, one of those big 4 guys. Obviously, like, you want to keep the best players possible, but like you may have to be reasonable. Just go, right, no one wants Chase Brown and no one wants Chuba right now. Robert, I can't decide if I want to play both Quentin Johnson and Keenan Allen, or do I switch out Allen for Tet? I would play both Chargers receivers this week. I understand the Tet shout, I'll call it. I just don't like the fact that Tet is getting Sauce Gardner. That's really what it is. I don't like that he's going to draw Sauce Gardner and he's going to shadow him the whole game. So I would start both Chargers receivers. Trevor Flex, Harold Fan, and Stephon Diggs, or Rashid Shaheed, and at running back Chuba or Henderson. I would go with Chuba over Travion this week. Hey, Terrence Ferguson touchdown. Hey, wow. Hey, how about that? Running back is Chuba Hubbard, and the flex between Diggs, Fannin, and Shaheed. I like Diggs this week against Tennessee. The stat is that Tennessee plays a ton of shell coverage, so that leaves the underneath stuff for Stephon Diggs. I think you can go Diggs and not chance it with Fannin, but if you want to have some fun, I think you can go Fannin over Diggs at that spot. Kid on YouTube, Jordan Mason, J.K. Dobbins in the flex. That's a J.K. Dobbins one for me. My dog, let's go. Also, I have one more question. George Kittle, T.J. Hawkinson to start. George Kittle. That's a pretty easy George Kittle one for me. Joel on Facebook, Trey Tucker, Luke McCaffrey. That's a Trey Tucker one for me. Dami for the 3rd time, I think. Kamani Vidal, Rashee Rice, or Chris Olave in half PPR. That one, my friend, is Rashee Rice. You have waited all year for Rashee Rice to come back, and he couldn't come back at a better time. Good morning. Should I start Jordan Love or Jared Goff? I would start between. Okay, we'll go one at a time here, so I don't lose track of things. Between Jared Goff, Jordan Love, I'm going to go Jared Goff. He has not thrown in every game against Tampa Bay, regardless on the Rams or on the Lions, he has thrown for over 300 yards. So that's some prop knowledge for you guys tomorrow. Between Bill and DeAndre Swift at running back, I'm going to go with Bill. And one more thing, I want to trade DeAndre Swift and Sutton for a receiver. Who should I go for? I feel like you got to go for a name just slightly above Courtland Sutton. I feel like if Nico has a off game, he would be a guy I would go target. That's probably the 2-for-1. But if you want like a 2-for-2 deal, I think you get like a Jalen Waddle plus. You can probably get like you could probably get like a Ted McMillan plus. But I think the name I would target pretty much like right away is Nico Collins. Hudson, Tez Johnson, or DJ Moore in the 16-man. I would say, real quick, I'll come back to your question, Hudson. I want a better receiver, Nico Collins. Between Tez and DJ Moore, I'm going to go DJ Moore. I don't get yes, Tez Johnson is the clip of him last week after his touchdown. Hilarious. Mike Evans is back this week and Meccan might play. The chances that Tez Johnson gets on the field are pretty slim at that point. Raider, also not fantasy related, but I see all the Minnesota stuff in your videos. Hey, right there, Wolves back, and then the football and the Gophers. Oh yeah. Are you guys also Minnesota fans? Big time Minnesota fans. Big time. We are all from Minnesota. So, the great North state of Minnesota. Lil Bear on YouTube, Jordan Mason, Alvin Kamara, Kamani Vidal, Rico Dowdle, pick 2. I feel like we had a very similar question to this. For me, it's Kamani Vidal, Rico Dowdle. I don't mind Jordan Mason, but we can have some fun with Rico. Trey on YouTube, Quentin Johnson or Kendrick Bourne in full PPR. We're going to go with Quentin Johnson on that one. Michael Wandale or Michael Pittman. That's a Michael Pittman one for sure for me. NFL fan Boutte or Matthew Golden. I'm going to go Matthew Golden. I don't like Boutte's matchup against Tennessee's defense here. Luke on YouTube, McConkey, Sutton, Olave, Marv, and Luke McCaffrey. Luke McCaffrey for 3 spots, and Warren or Fannin. Also, should I trade Olave for Flowers, and do I ship Warren out too? No. If there's a tight end that you ship out, it's Harold Fannin. I would not trade Olave for Flowers. I feel like that's a pretty lateral move. So the 3 spots today, Courtland Sutton, Chris Olave, and Ladd McConkey. Those 3 for me. Oh, geez. Jacksonville cannot get going today. They cannot do anything today. I'm going to move this up because I'm watching the game on my phone because we tried to experiment with it last week. We tried to experiment doing, we tried to experiment watching the game while also doing the live. Didn't really work. Should have seen that one coming. So actually that's better. That's better. So again, that's the 3 here. Ladd, Sutton, Olave, the first 3 names that you got there. I got to make a change in my lineup because did it go through? We're starting Carson Wentz today in one of my fantasy leagues because I have Justin Jefferson. So we're going a little stack action. You know what I'm saying? Dale over on YouTube, Kamani Vidal, Ken Walker. That's a Kamani. Tissues or allergy meds? Probably both, honestly. And it's not even out. I think we're like Benadryl is like the must start this week, and then right behind that is the tissues, and then right after that is like the Claritin and the Zyrtec. That's where we're going this week. That's funny. Asher on YouTube, Bill or Swift? Between those two, we're gonna go with Bill. Eshan on YouTube, full PPR, need a high upside wide receiver and flex since I started BTJ, deciding between Tet, Golden, Fanning, K9, DJ Moore, Trey Tucker. Your high upside receiver is Matthew Golden. Which is Robert, me too. It's a tough life out here, man. Allergy season is the worst. Your high upside receiver. Ooh, Travis Hunter touchdown. Hello. Probably defensive holding. That's what that flag looked like. Yep. Gosh, high upside receiver is Matthew Golden. I'm scared for Ted Sealing against Sauce Gardner. If he proves me wrong, he proves me wrong. Your flex, Harold Fannin. Yeah, wild. Harold Fannin over Tet. But again, that's how scared I am of Tet just drawing Sauce Gardner, who has not really allowed a ton of fantasy points this year. So, brother, need wide receiver 2 in full PPR. Who would you go with? Trey Tucker, Chris Moore, Lad McConkey, Alec Iomet, LMC. I'm assuming that's Lad McConkey. I'm trying to think of who else. Oh, Lad McConkey or Luke McCaffrey. You let me know. Because if that's Lad, it's a Lad McConkey pretty easy, but I'm assuming it's a Luke McCaffrey just with the other names that you put down there. Wide receiver 2 this week. I'm going to go with Trey Tucker. I'm going to go with Trey Tucker on that one. Parker Runs on YouTube. Start 2 between Tet, Keenan Allen, and Emeka Egbuka. I'm going to go with Keenan Allen. I'm going to go with Emeka Egbuka. Tez Johnson, Darren Waller from Lil Bear on YouTube. I would say Waller, but the weather scares me enough in that game. I guess you go Waller on that one. If those are your only 2 options, I would go Waller. Brian on Facebook, Kittle or Ertz, leaning Ertz with all the injuries at wide receiver in Washington. Trust your studs. Trust your studs. I was stay with George Kittle. Don't get cute with it. Just keep it simple. Trust your studs. MK, good to see you, buddy. Quentin Johnson or Wandale. Between those 2, it is Quentin Johnson. K-Dog, it is Luke McCaffrey. Thank you for the help. Of course. Trey Tucker is my vote for your question there. Mahomes or Dak Prescott this week? Boy, what a phenomenal problem to have. You can't go wrong. Let's just say that. You cannot go wrong. But I will say, you're in the reason that you've been playing Mahomes all year is because of the rushing work that he has. Does he get the rushing work against a Vegas defense? I don't think it's the same upside in the rushing category this week for Mahomes. He can still be a really good play. It won't surprise me, though, if he's somewhere closer to the quarterback 8 to 10 than he is to the quarterback 1 to 3. Dak Prescott, though, gosh, 55-point total this week. I'm going to go Dak. And most important piece, he has CD now. He has CD back. With Ted, is it so bad that in one league I should move Diggs up and start Shaheed or Fannin in the flex, and my other start Evans, McConkey, and Diggs? So in your other start, your 3 receivers of Evans, McConkey, and Diggs, perfectly fine. Is it so bad with Ted that I should move Diggs up? So out of the flex into a receiver spot and start Shaheed or Fannin. So the question is essentially, correct me if I'm wrong. The question is essentially, am I starting Tet, Shaheed, or Fannin in my flex? Why did it go into my key plays? Why did it do that, man? Why did it do that? Jacksonville just get an onside kick? Ooh, they had it. Again, the question is Tet, Fannin, or Shaheed in the flex. That's a fascinating one. Oh, gosh. I'll probably start Fannin over Tet in the flex. My other league sit Tet and start. Got it. Okay. You have Tet in both leagues. You're figuring out if you should. Yeah. Okay. I would sit Tet and start Mike Evans. That's what I would do. Carrie on YouTube, Matthew Golden, Tony Pollard, J.K. Dobbins in this order for me this week. J.K. Dobbins, Matthew Golden, Tony Pollard. Lil Bear, Kendrick Bourne, Theo Johnson, Alvin Kamara, Jordan Mason, drop one to put in Evans. If you're dropping one player this week, like out of your lineup, it's Theo Johnson. But I like if Theo Johnson's in your flex, get him the heck out and put in Mike Evans. But if Theo Johnson's like your starting tight end and you can't move him out and you have to move either Bourne, Kamara, or Mason, I would move Alvin Kamara out. Chris Olave, Rashee Rice. We're going to go Rashee Rice on that one. MK, Mac Jones, Justin Fields. I'm going to go Justin Fields on that one. Rushing production. That's all that needs to be said for that one. Jacob on YouTube, Sam Darnold or Mac Jones in 6-point touchdown. I think that's a Niners jersey. So do I just... We're going Mac Jones. I don't like Sam Darnold. I'm scared with Mac Jones this week against Atlanta, but I'm also scared with Sam Darnold against Houston. Not a great matchup for either of them. Deckers on YouTube, Bill or Cortland Sutton. If it's full PPR, go Cortland Sutton. If it's half PPR, I would go with Bill Krosky Merritt. Not a Niners jersey. Shoot. It looked like it, but Cody on Facebook, Keenan Allen, Rachaad White, or wait for Emeka Egbuka in the flex. Well, you know what? I think it's okay to you're starting either Rachaad White or Emeka Egbuka because they both play in the same game. They're on the same team. So you do have the flexibility of hey, actually Emeka Egbuka is going to be at 100%. There is no limitation. There is no snap count, no nothing. You can flip-flop it. So I think for right now, I think you're fine keeping Keenan Allen on your bench, keeping Rachaad White in your flex. And then as we get closer and closer to kickoff tomorrow, you can adjust between Egbuka and Rachaad White. AJ Brown, Diggs, or Marvin Mahomes. Okay. Oh, AJ Brown, Diggs, or Marv a receiver. I'm going to go Diggs. Mahomes or Dak a quarterback. I'm going Dak. MK again. Pick two: Adunze, Judkins, AJ Brown. The first two. Go Judkins and Adunze. Jacob, nasty question. Here we go. Got to start one. Cooper Kupp, Jerry Jeudy, Tyjae Spears. Or pick up Chris Moore or Kayshon Boutte. Pick up Chris Moore, baby. We're getting gross with it. I would pick up Chris Moore. Yes, we're committing to the bit. Ty, appreciate the response. It's tough week. Hey, much appreciated. This is a bit of a weird week. Again, we've got all of these injury updates, weather updates. You had Jamar Chase on Thursday. You had DK Metcalf on Thursday. You've got, you started Jordan Whittington today, or you started Brian Thomas Jr. You started this is a pretty weird week. Carrie, you had drop DJ. I don't have a defense. I'm assuming DJ Moore. Give me some other options. I'm not committed. And also let me know, is it 8-person league, 10-person league? I'll take some more details on that one. Yeah. What am I supposed to do with BTJ? Do I hold or sell? I think you got to hold. Yes, it stinks that we're taking that there's so many ups. There's not been too many ups. I take that back. There's been a lot of lows. I think though, if there is a guy to get going in Jacksonville's offense, I think it is BTJ. So I wouldn't. I think you hold for now, but I also would be willing to kind of dangle him in trade talks a little bit. That if we get another game like we got last week, just shipping quick and just trying to get what you not get what you can, but you get what I'm saying. Drop Jalen Coker for a defense. I would prefer to drop Jalen Coker over DJ Moore. What are some other names though? Because of it being a 12-man league, assets like that come very few and far between. So Golden or Pollard too, I think it would still drop Jalen Coker, honestly. I think that's how I would lean. I would, out of the 4 players that you mentioned, I would drop Coker for a defense. If you really want a defense, but at the same time, like you may need the defense to at least have a shot this week. So I get it. Do I put Judkins over CMC or Bijan? No. No. Trust your studs. Lou the Steel, Matthew Golden, or Kendrick Bourne. I feel like it's a pretty similar, like these are the same player in some way. Like I'm not expecting a ton. Drop Fields, who's your other quarterback. I'm going to go Bourne just on the chance that he gets more volume than Matthew Golden. That's what it comes down to. Mike on Facebook, Rico Dowdle, Rachaad White. Dude, what is it? All the sniffles? I apologize already. Oh, you played Rodgers. Oh, I know Lamar was on a bye. Oh, well, Rodgers actually did pretty decent though, so that's not the worst. I guess I would, out of all the players that you've mentioned, drop Coker for I would drop Coker for a defense. Rico or Rachaad White? I'm gonna go Rachaad White on that one. Hate to say it, but Herbert or Dart. Also tell me why Atwell got nothing this game, because he just doesn't get on the field. He's kind of their wide receiver 4 at that point. Is my question not going through? I haven't seen your question. Danny. I haven't seen it yet. So there it is. Found it. Start 1, flex 1. Tight end, Kittle, Kelsey. Well, start 1, flex 1 tight end. Kittle or Kelsey, and tight end, Kittle. Flex, Boutte, Henderson, Vidal, Marks, Pacheco, Kamani Vidal for sure. Ole Miss, sorry about that was a great game yesterday against Georgia. I wish your defense did a little bit more. That was shocking. Defense couldn't get a single stop yesterday. Kendrick Bourne, Devonta Smith. I'm gonna go Kendrick Bourne on that one. Wait, Herbert or Dart? Oh, Justin Herbert on that one. Pick 3, QJ, Ladd, Rome, Pickens, Evans. Also Crafter fan and Caleb or Fields. Holy cow. Okay. Between QJ, Ladd, Rome, Pickens, and Evans, the 3 that I'm going with this week, I'm going to go Pickens, Rome. I'm probably going to go with Evans. Gosh. Oh, gosh. Let's do it. Let's go Rome, Pickens, and Ladd McConkey. At least with like QJ. I think the argument is that Evans maybe first game back from his injury. Emeka suiting up also. QJ, first game back from his injury, maybe gets ramped up a little bit. Who knows? So I would go Ladd, Rome, and Pickens. Between the tight ends, it's a hat trick. Between Kraft and Fannin this week, I'm going to go Tucker Kraft still, and then Caleb or Fields. I don't mind Fields this week, but I would lean with Caleb. Just the offense that's going to score more this week. The big question is Josh Jacobs playing today? Because if not, I'm gonna pick up Emmanuel Wilson. I think regardless, you pick up Emmanuel Wilson, but I make sure you're not dropping one of your better players to do so. That one is going to be like right up until game time. So I would go pick up Emmanuel Wilson if you have Josh Jacobs, but make sure you're not dropping just anybody. Make sure you're dropping the right player. Harold Fannin, TJ Hawkinson. We're going to go Harold Fannin on that one. Justin Herbert, Baker Mayfield. I like Baker on that one. I know Herbert. Gosh, maybe I do like Herbert. It's essentially who you think is going to score more this week. That's what it comes down to. So I will leave that up to you. Who do you think scores more? PPR ladder, Bill for the flex, Danny Dimes or Jackson Dart. QB spot, you're going to go Danny Dimes. In the flex, I'm going to go with, it's PPR. I'm going to go Lad. It's PPR. Drop Emmanuel or drop Bourne. Whoa, wait a second. No, drop Bourne for Emmanuel Wilson, because I think that was your question. No, I feel like there's got to be another player that you can drop instead. Rico Dowdle, Jordan Mason. I'm going to go with Jordan Mason on that one. This one's rough. Maybe go Rico. Because maybe, you know what? I think I would actually, here's probably the best way to break it down. Jordan Mason is a touchdown dependent play this week. Rico Dowdle could take over the backfield 60-40 if he has a hot hand this week. I think you go with Rico Dowdle. Carolina or Chicago, I'm assuming defense. I would go with Chicago's defense. Kendra Miller or Tyjae Spears, half for every rush. Tyjae Spears. I just think negative game script. He's going to get more work, honestly. Alec Iomanner or Keishon Butte. I feel like I need to say Alec Iomanner's like full name in order to actually like say just one of the names, right? You get what I mean? Between the two, I'm probably going to go. I might go Iomanner. No, Calvin, because I'm pretty sure Calvin Ridley is out this week. I thought I saw something. I could be totally making that up and giving you guys some incorrect information, but I thought he was out this week. Yeah, he's out. So yeah, I would go with Iomanner. He is. There we go. Elijah on YouTube, Lad, even with QJ back in Bill versus the Cowboys because it's PPR. I would go, gosh, it's because it's PPR. Bill has not, gosh. No, you got to go Bill. I think I was getting too cute with that one. Go Bill. Do I start Emmanuel Wilson over Kendrick Bourne? If Josh Jacobs is out, you play Emmanuel Wilson over Kendrick Bourne. Yes. Iomanner or Luke McCaffrey? That's an Iomanner one for me. Kamani Vidal, Devonta Smith, and PPR at the flex. Kamani Vidal. Only if Josh Jacobs doesn't play. Correct. The only way that he gets into your lineup, Emmanuel Wilson gets into your lineup. Gosh, 5 touchdowns for Stafford today is nutty. Start Pollard or someone from waivers. Best options are Marks, Chubb, Sharps, Algier, Spears, Bam Knight, and PPR. I think I would go with Woody Marks. I think the two most intriguing names here are Bam Knight and Woody Marks. My preference would be Woody Marks over Tony Pollard. What do I do with Josh Jacobs? Well, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know because no one knows what he's going to do today. No one knows if he's playing or not. So I wish I could give you guys an answer, but I don't really have one right now. Evans and Allen. Starting Evans and Allen and Bourne and Boutte are on the bench. I think I would leave it at that. Should I start Evans or Keenan? Between the two, I'm going to go Mike Evans. Between the two of them. MK, Rico Dowdle, or Josh Jacobs? Oh, gosh. That one's tough. Nice play. I think MK, what you should do is you should go pick up Emmanuel Wilson. Keep Emmanuel Wilson then on your bench. And if Josh Jacobs is out, because I think that I would lean Josh Jacobs over Rico Dowdle, but if he's ruled out, at least then you have Emmanuel Wilson then. So I could pick up Emmanuel Wilson too. I would do that on the, gosh, I guess it depends on who you're dropping because it's not a guarantee that Emmanuel Wilson plays. That's the thing. I have no one to drop if you're MK. Gosh. You have no one to drop, Rico or Josh Jacobs. Do you have an IR spot? Because if you have an IR spot, Josh Jacobs is out. Move Jacobs into that IR spot. If you have the extra spot, go ahead and pick up. Oh, gosh. If you have the extra spot, I would rather have a guarantee. Well, pick up Emmanuel Wilson. Here's what you're going to do. Pick up Emmanuel Wilson right now into that extra spot. If he plays, sweet, play him. But if he doesn't play, you can then drop him again. You can drop him before the 3:00 kickoff then. And then drop him before that. Again, their game kicks off because if you keep him on your roster and it kicks off, he's then on your roster and you're stuck. Pick up Wilson, doesn't play, drop him, pick up Woody Marks. That's what I would do. MK, I have an IR spot, but since he's questionable, I can't move him in there. So here's what you're going to do. You will stay glued to a TV, to a phone, whatever. As soon as you hear that Josh Jacobs is out, move him into your IR spot and pick up Emmanuel Wilson. That's what you got to do. But you have to act super, super quick. Because Pollard plays at 1, Wilson plays at 4, Marks on Monday. Bingo. I would take Pollard out. I'm not playing Pollard because I'm essentially playing Emmanuel Wilson or Woody Marks over Tony Pollard. So get Pollard out of your lineup. Pick up Wilson into that extra spot right now. If he plays, you play Emmanuel Wilson, call it good. If Josh Jacobs plays, drop Wilson before the kickoff, go pick up Woody Marks. That's some fantasy football strategy right there. Avery on Facebook, should I trade Cook, and what do you think I can get out of him? I don't mind trading James Cook. I would definitely I would package him up though and try to go get a bigger name. Like I don't mind a Kyron Williams, going from Cook to Kyron Williams. I don't mind going from a James Cook to like a Jahmyr Gibbs and buying low on Gibbs as much as you can. Now the package has got to make up for it, but like that's what I'm doing with James Cook. Otherwise, I'm not moving laterally. I'm not downgrading. I'm staying there with I'm just holding James Cook at that point. Happy days on YouTube. Should I start Vidal or start Diggs, Devonta Smith, Jalen Coker, and or Addison at the flex? Excuse me. Assuming that you only need one for your flex, that's Kamani Vidal for me. You're the best, man. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. Rough day to have Kyron. Yeah, shocking. Excuse me. A lot of stuff at the goal line and just did not go to him. Last thing, Jordan Love, Justin Herbert. Go Justin Herbert on that one. Avery Williams from the Cowboys and Pickens. Don't hate that. Update for you guys about the Panthers. Chuba Hubbard was lined up first with the starters during warmups. Take that for what you want. I don't mind Javonte and Pickens. I think you walk away better with Javonte and Pickens. And it's not a think. I think it's pretty like straightforward. I would do that. Fannin, Shaheed, or Mason and PPR things. I'm going to go Harold Fannin. In this order, Fannin, Mason, Shaheed. AJ Brown or oh no. There's always I'm not laughing at you, Lil Bear. I'm not laughing at you. There is always a question every single week that actually has some legs to it, where it's a stud and it's a fringe starter. And when I say stud, it's because like when AJ Brown is like is a stud name. You get what I'm saying? But because things have been so bad, you are actually considering the fringe starter over him. That's what it comes down to. Oh man. I think you still go AJ Brown, man. Is Travis Hunter a must add now? Yes. Brian Thomas Jr. left with a shoulder injury. I don't know. I don't think he's returned yet. Obviously, the game's out of hand, so they're not going to force him back in. But maybe French starter, YOLO. So yeah, I would say Travis Hunter is an ad right now. That's what I would say. Jags look terrible today. I think a lot of people are realizing that like Jacksonville really kind of like had it easy early on in the year. You put them up against a really, really good team like the Rams. Yeah, it's tough. Cooper Kupp, Woody Marks, Troy Franklin, or Alec Eilmaner in half PPR in the flex. I would go with Woody Marks. Next week, I'm going to drop Bourne for Travis then. Yes. Chances are Ricky comes back at that point. That's what yes. Of course, BTJ is hurt. Just because you asked, like, what should I do with him? Should I hold or sell? He just gets hurt. It's kind of that year. It's that luck. It happens to me all the time. Is Ibuka playing today? He does not play tomorrow. He does not play today. He plays tomorrow. And looks like he's going to. That's all that I can say. Bill over Lad in PPR because the Cowboys and QJ back. If we're looking at just the format itself, Lad is the better play over Bill because it's PPR. But now that we add in the matchups and then all the other factors, I would play Bill over Lad. Bill against the Cowboys might just feed families this week. So that's why I would play Bill over Lad. I unfortunately had Stafford on my bench in one of my leagues. Can I just say, I understand. I would not feel bad about this. Yes, you look at the 30 burger or whatever it is on your bench and you're like, gosh, dang it. I don't think anyone would have predicted that he would have thrown for 5 touchdowns today. I understand how disappointing it is, but I want to beat yourself up over because your thought process was right. Your entire logic that you used was right. Because I'm assuming that at the same time, like you have a Dak Prescott or a Jaden Daniels or somebody that you're playing ahead of him that's like worth starting. So should I start Rashee Rice or Courtland Sutton? Between the two, I would start Rashid Shaheed. Shaheed? What am I talking about? It's Rashee Rice. We're starting Rashee Rice. With the win from the Miami game, Waddle or Jameson Williams. I feel like Waddle is still a play, but obviously it's just not like the top 15 Jalen Waddle, right? I think I'm not taking the chance with JMO, especially, yes, weather and all that stuff isn't great. Oh, all righty. 2 more minutes and I will let you guys go make those changes into your lineups and then go get ready for the week 12 slate. So Avery also started Jones, which I think was a better play. See, yes, Avery, your logic was correct. You were very, very correct. Starting Daniel Jones over Matthew Stafford. I don't blame you one bit for doing that. Will, good to see you on YouTube at Becca, Igbuka, or Diggs. Assuming Igbuka is hurt, I'm starting Diggs. It sounds like Emeka is going to play. Here's probably what I would do. Make sure that Emeka Igbuka is in your flex, right? Make sure that he's there because if he's out for whatever reason, or we get the report that he's on limited snaps, oh gosh. I guess I'm still playing Emeka. I guess I'm still playing. Yeah, I'm still playing Emeka, honestly. Brandon Ayuk or Bijan Robinson. I'm assuming you meant Brian Robinson, because if it's Bijan, Coker, or Ayuk, you're absolutely playing Bijan. But if it's Brian Robinson, between the 3, Ayuk isn't playing yet. Brian Robinson is the backup to McCaffrey. I'm probably going to go Jalen Coker between the 3. Let's get nasty with it. CL3, should I start Rico or Josh Jacobs? Josh Jacobs is questionable. Here's what you're going to do if you have Josh Jacobs and you have an IR spot available. As soon as you hear that Josh Jacobs is not playing, you move him to IR, you go on to waivers, and you pick up Emmanuel Wilson. If he plays, you keep him in. So between Rico and Josh Jacobs, you start Josh Jacobs. If he is out, move him out. Move him out and play Emmanuel Wilson. Dami, I'm trolling. I thought. I was like, this is so wild. I don't know what's going on, but I feel like I know what's going on. All right, last question here, guys, and then I will turn you loose. Cup, Woody Marks, Troy Franklin, or Io Manor in half PPR. I answered this one already. This was Woody Marks. So one more. Thank you. Good luck today. One more. Mac and Ack. I have Lamb, London, Rome, Rasheed, and Sutton, but can only start 3 a week pieces of single flex. Any suggestions on trades, including a running back? I'm 3-3 and have Hampton on IR. If there is a receiver that I am moving, it's probably, just hear me out, Rome Odunze. Now, I love Rome Odunze. That pains me to say it. But when you have moving on from Rome, and your 4th receiver then is Courtland Sutton, there are a lot of players, there are a lot of wide receivers that could be your 4th option that are worse than Courtland Sutton. Rome Odunze at least gives you the highest amount of return without giving up one of your studs, right? Now, I wouldn't be surprised that I wouldn't be surprised that for the first couple weeks, now how do I say this? It wouldn't surprise me that Rashee Rice kind of takes a little bit to get going. Not saying that that's what I'm expecting. It just wouldn't surprise me if that happened. At that point, you may want to hold on to Rome and move on from Sutton then. And I think you can still get a pretty decent return. So, all right. Last one here. Where can I find out if Josh Jacobs is playing? If you go on to, I guess if you're not on Twitter, the best thing you can do is continually just Google Josh Jacobs' name. That's all that you can do, right? Obviously, if you're on Twitter, that's probably the place to go to and just find the latest tweets on Josh Jacobs. But if you don't, just keep Googling Josh Jacobs, and there will be news updates that come out that say, like, Josh Jacobs is out. You will see it then, and then that's how you will know. So, all right, everybody, that'll do it. Final from London, 35-7 Rams over the Jaguars. Not surprising at all. I'm going to be honest. I've not really bought in on the Jaguars being a threat, really, when it comes to these kind of tougher teams. They've had a really, really nice schedule up until this point. Yes, the game against Kansas City was great, but that was because Trevor Lawrence went like he did everything. And so you have some of those games before ours. So thank you for your help. How often are you live? I'll use this as a little transition to the exit. We are live every single week. It's not me. It may be Cameron. It may be Lucas, but we are live every single week here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. There will be another one of us on TikTok. So we are everywhere on Sunday mornings, answering questions on starts and sits and all that kind of stuff. So if you're not subscribed, if you're not following, consider doing so. Absolutely free. Helps us. Goes a long, long way. If you want to help us out even more, you can check out our friends over at Underdog Fantasy. Help our friends at Underdog. You help us in return. Again, thanks for the help. Of course, anytime. Yeah, help out our friends at Underdog with the code FELLAS, FELLAS. You help us out as well. We go live. We post 3 podcasts every single week. We do training or ending. Again, we're going to be switching it up here relatively soon. So, gosh, lost my train of thought. So stay tuned to that. Wednesday, Cam and I do trade talk. So get your trades into the comments of our previous trade episode, and we will review your trades. Obviously, it's a little hard to do so. Actually, what we're actually going to be doing, we're going to be posting kind of like, hey, drop your trade suggestions or want us to review your trades over on our socials. So make sure you're following us on all of our socials. FFLas over on, I believe, Instagram. Here's what I say. Just search Fantasy Football Fellas, FELLAS again. You'll find us right everywhere. X, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, anywhere, everywhere. Search that, you find us. So you can drop your suggestions there for our trade episodes that we do every Wednesday. And then on Thursday, 18 players who will make or break your outcomes in fantasy football. And then we do daily minute-long videos on our Shorts channel. So if you're tuning in from our Shorts channel, howdy. Thanks for tuning in. You get videos over there every single day as well. Buka says he's likely to play. This is true. Alrighty, y'all. I'm going to turn you loose. Go make those changes into your lineups and then get ready for week 7 football. Hope everyone stays safe, stays healthy, and we will see you. We'll see you soon. Don't know when. We'll see you soon, though. Alrighty. Deuces.